what about, perhaps you could discuss Hathor.
Okay.
Hathor is an ancient Egyptian goddess which predates Isis. And sometimes, they are mixed later, but let's not get into this. But when she was a goddess, she was very much a goddess of sensuality, sexuality, but also of fertility, right? So if people wanted to have a good harvest, she was the one that they would pray to. But she was also a very playful goddess. She was, and from what I understand from mythologies, she enjoyed, being that goddess. There's this full-on sexual goddess of fertility, and lots of enjoyment there.
Okay, fascinating. Confirmations coming up. So I love it. She incarnated at the frequency of 200, which is heroism. Born at the frequency of 50, and 50 is indifference.
Okay.
And her overall frequency was 200, again, heroism. She viewed health, which is body, mind, and soul connection, at the frequency of 250. So 250 is the frequency of being objective, right? So very neutral. Finances, she viewed through the lens of 125, which is very impulsive lens. So there was impulsivity linked to that. Creativity, she created through the lens of 400. Intellect, very intellectual creation, again, mind. Relationships, she viewed through the lens of 50, indifference. And oftentimes, when we see this combination with several other numbers, we'll reference it back, but this is also a frequency of manipulation.
Well, this is that seductress comes, right?
The seductress, there you go.
Right?
Yes. Personal growth, she viewed through the lens of heroism, 200. Philanthropy, the art of sharing and giving, 200 again. And intuition, 175. And again, intuition is not about how intuitive someone is, but when information comes through, what lens she used to process this information. In her case, it was 175, which is vanity. It's very,
She was very vain, yes.
There you go. You just confirmed it. I love it.
She was a vain, beautiful goddess, so yeah.
Okay. Yes. So, and for all four aspects of intuition were all vanity, 175. Now, looking into her intellect, the IQ, how did she process the information based on the intellect? And it was 250. She viewed it very objectively. EQ, as we said earlier, which is far more superior, it's the emotional intelligence, it's 125. So again, this impulsive way of viewing, right? SQ, social quotient. And this is fascinating because you see her frequencies of, we said relationships 50, right? She has the 125, 175. And this is her charisma in a way. It's her magnetism because this is 500. So she used her social quotient to lure people in through her appearance. Okay, well, yes, we didn't know about these goddesses. So I'm like, of course, Now, AQ, the adversity quotient. How did she deal with challenging situations? And for her, it's 50. Again, 50 is this disassociation, disconnect, indifference, right? It was like a way of escaping reality. Now, she enjoyed her role 88%. She was in her ego 100%. And out of that, 100% superior, as Alejandro said, in combination with low EQ, low frequency in relationships. And we'll talk about her compassion. She definitely was more of a narcissist or had narcissistic tendencies. In the now, 95%. Integrity, 93%. Integrity to self, 97%. Integrity to others, 62%. So that's where that seductress manipulation would come through. Self-awareness, 92%. So she was very aware of what she was doing. Clarity, 94%. Alignment with divine purpose, 70%. So she was out of alignment. Alignment with personal purpose, 100%. Compassion, 64%. So not very compassionate with 15, right? And low EQ. Empathy, 90. So she used empathy as a navigation system, like a radar in a way, right? To read others. Energy purity, 65%. And again, she was not in the fifth dimension. So this is as you would reference, the goddess that was between third and fourth dimension, or perhaps even lower because she had lower numbers.
Thank you. But again, like it confirms what I have learned about her, because when just for your listeners and viewers, you know, I always think about her as, you know, Marilyn Monroe, you know, diamonds are girls' best friends, kind of, you know, or Madonna, material girl. And when you said she used empathy to read people, this is how I see exactly how she would act. Because Inanna used magic, but this one would use, okay, what will work with him, right? What would work with her? And definitely vain and enjoying, you know, the goddess part of herself. So sometimes, again, like with Inanna, but a lower level again, I would say that perhaps some incarnated beings, like goddesses, perhaps they enjoyed their embodiment in the material world, in this dimension, so much that they went out of alignment, as you call it, with a divine purpose, because, you know, they came here to do good, let's say, and then they thought, you know, I can just have lots of fun here. And then, you know, and I have all of these powers and they don't even know it, right? I can be worshipped. So this is Hator, right, to you. So this is Hator to you.
Fascinating.
And that happens and will continue to happen. You know, the people come here for the sake of the experience and to learn different lessons, and somehow they decide to deviate away from the lesson. You know.
That's right. That's right, because, you know, it's beautiful. It's sensual, our world, right? It's full of temptations, and if you incarnate with superior powers, by superior not necessarily spiritually superior, but, you know, either you have magic or you have this empathy that you can read other people. You think like, actually, I can just use it for my own benefit. So I can be worshipped. I am a goddess, right? This is Hathor to you, right?
Right, exactly.
Yes.
So it's actually funny, but yeah, absolutely confirms my research. Thank you.
And you know, when we were reading these goddesses, I said to Alejandro, a lot of it is actually being brought to the surface at this time through so many different people, right? Whether you, and it's so predominant with social media too, like you can clearly see it, like the desire that women have to dress up and embody these energies, right? It's almost like she's living through many.
Yes. And if you want me to say something about it, I think this is coming up to surface because our consciousness has to embrace also this different part, the feminine part of consciousness, right? Because we live in a more masculine part of consciousness, which is more logical, mathematical, and it has nothing to do with gender, by the way, right? So it's not men, women. And I think for us to fully evolve, we have to bring these two polarities together. But before we bring them together, one has to be fully acknowledged, the other one, which is the feminine, with all of the, you know, light and dark of it. Yeah, like
that's right.
Yeah. So Hathor was not really harmful, but, you know, she was all about herself, right? So